even when we were kids, like, we would help you with dishes or things like that. It wasn't presented to us in a way that, like, you have to do this. Like, we didn't see it as, like, chores, I would say. They weren't chores in our mind. It was more like, this is something that's expected of us in this household already. So why would we expect to be paid for it when it's just part of life?
Welcome to Transforming the Toddler Years, the podcast for conscious parents, caregivers, and educators who believe tantrums aren't terrible. They are powerful opportunities for connection, growth, and learning during the first 5 years. You'll explore how to use intentional language to raise calm, confident, and deeply connected kids, because the way we talk to kids becomes how they see themselves and engage with the world. Hi, I'm your host, Cara Tyrrell, classroom teacher turned parent educator and teacher trainer. Are you ready to nurture your children's mind, body, and spirit? Welcome, Toddler Tribe. Let's transform the toddler years together. Welcome back to the last episode of our 3-part series on raising healthy humans from birth, an interview with my adult daughter, Caroline. I am so pumped to share this last section with you, where 2 really cool things happened. We had an aha moment and realized what the exact transformation of the Caroline who was here before Japan and after Japan is, and agreed on it. And I got to ask her this question. Based on how you were raised, what is something you will absolutely do and continue generational traditions with your children? And what is something that you are going to do differently? If you haven't heard part 1 and part 2, hit pause, go back and listen to those first. And it sets you up for this final experience of really hearing the wisdom, I know she doesn't love that word, and the soul of this 20-year-old shine through. So one of the things that people used to say to me, community members, other moms and dads, is, why are you doing this to your kids? Why are you putting them through this grief exploration? They're just kids. Because you did have to watch part of my grieving process come around year after year. And like, my goal was that you would understand that death is part of life.
Yeah, and I think we do.
You do?
I definitely think so. I mean, obviously it's sad if someone dies. And I've been very blessed that none of my family members have died yet. So I don't know what it feels like, but I do have an understanding that they're going somewhere, and I am okay with that. And that, like, even myself, like, I know you don't want to hear this, but like, every night before I go to bed, I ask God, I said, if you grant me another day, help me to do your work, because I'm not promised tomorrow. And I don't get to make that choice. If I live or die, it's not in my control. So I'm okay now with the fact that even like myself, I'm okay knowing that like I've lived life and each day I'm living life. So
I think that is the biggest difference.
Yeah.
From the Caroline who was here before Japan and the Caroline who's visiting from Japan, is you have the ability to live in the present moment.
Yeah, and that just came from experience, I think. But yeah, no, I'm very grateful I have that ability now. And granted, there are times that I'm not doing that. We all have those moments.
Oh, there's that human factor.
Yeah. But no, I'm like, even I think the graveyard for me and Clara's kids was not seen as like a dark, scary place as they try to put it, like during Halloween time. But it was more seen as a place where we could remember people. And even if we didn't know people, we would like read the back of their stones or like pick up the flowers, or it was like any other place for us, like a little playground, and it was great. And I think seeing it as that place is like people are resting there, and I don't know their backgrounds, I don't know all these things, I only know Emma's in that place, but I'm still grateful that they all have a place to be.
But we practiced compassion in that moment. We would walk graveyards, even on like vacation and stuff when we found one, and we would look for the infant markers.
Yeah.
And we would see if we could figure out their story even just a little bit so that we could have a moment of empathy for them.
Yeah, it's nice. And I don't feel creeped out going to a graveyard by myself. So I have to say that's a win in the world we live in now.
Oh, the world we live in now. We are not talking about that today. That is too much. So I'm so curious to know your answer to this. The fact that I get to ask it is even such a privilege. What things or lessons that I worked to teach you when you were little will you 100% choose to do with your kids? And what's one or two that you're like, nope, not doing that?
Things that I definitely will do is create opportunities of independence in a fun way. And I say in a fun way because it wasn't always fun, but making like we had to learn how to cook. We had to learn how to do our own laundry. And even when we were kids, like we would help you with dishes or things like that. It wasn't presented to us in a way that like, you have to do this. Like we didn't see it as like chores, I would say. They weren't chores in our mind. It was more like, this is something that's expected of us in this household already. So why would we expect to be paid for it when it's just part of life? So we were taught to, I guess, work hard and learn necessities in life without expecting anything in return. And because we didn't expect anything in return, when we did receive things, like from my grandparents, things our first response would be to refuse it instead of receive it. So when we are learning to receive it now, and that's part of us growing up, but now we understand the value in what we are receiving, and we don't take it for granted. So that's something I really want to teach my kids, and especially being in the countryside. That's another thing, growing up in the countryside, not in the city. It's just I think that's just a personal thing between me and my fiance, but
surprise.
Oh yeah, I am.
She's engaged.
Yeah, so, and what is something I don't want to teach my kids? I don't think you really did this, but it's more of like observation of growing up from like other people around me.
Okay.
Would be like not to speak to my kids harshly. I think there's a difference between yelling and being firm in what you're saying. And I don't want to have to yell at my kids, because I would like, and it's not like gentle parenting, it's just parenting. I think there's a way that you can not train your kids, but teach your kids that this voice means this, and this voice means this. And like, with kids I've worked with in the past, I have learned that I have to create a routine, and they know when they're in trouble just by me even just giving them a look, or even just slightly changing the tone of my voice. They understand that even if they're in trouble, or I need to talk to them about this, or this is like, it's not okay what you're doing right now. And I haven't had to yell. I think yelling is like harsh, but there is like the like playful yelling, like when you're like outside, and that's not, I don't count that as yelling. I count it as just like, you're having fun. It's okay. But yeah, I've been able to observe in a lot of like my friends when I was a kid, like when their parents yell at them, it is scary no matter what. and you can't change that. That's our initial human reaction. And when you use that as a tactic to control your kids, it really kicks you in the butt later on.
Okay.
Yeah, that's a lot. But yeah,
do you
that's
remember
my biggest thing.
When a little while ago, Caroline said when she was younger, people described her as wise? Those words just came out of a 20-year-old.
It's nothing.
Okay. And you all know how powerfully I feel about this. I was not a yeller. If anything, I was an over talker. I probably could have used less words to say more, and I'm much better at that now. And, I'm just going to shamelessly plug this and say my draft of my book is with the publisher right now. And in April of 2026, there's going to be an entire book on how to talk to them early and often to set up exactly what Caroline is talking about. And so you made me feel really confident that the next generation of parents are doing this differently.
I think there's been a shift. I've seen a shift in parents, and especially with this technology age, we've been able to see the effects, and people are changing now. They're trying to do something about it. And so I'm very thankful for that, because I know my kids will be growing up in a technology world, but there are ways to not control it, but to just help them understand that that's not everything, and I hope that they will have a childhood and be able to use their imagination. And that's the biggest reason why we want to live in the countryside.
Her sister is a college student studying behavioral sciences, and she's into the trauma part of psychology. And she shared with me recently from her textbook that childhood trauma directly affects your imagination, your ability to access that abstract creative thinking process. And I'm really glad you brought it up, because you were anti-technology to like a scary degree, quite honestly.
I didn't get a phone until I was, 16?
Yes, I'll tell that story in a minute.
That was forced.
So my kids grew up with the evolution of the iPhone, right? The iPhone came out in 2005, but it was like super baby iPhone at that point, the iPod Touch and all that jazz. And Caroline was born in 2000.
And the CDs also were new for us. We had the evolution of CDs.
So as she evolved into her preteen and then teenage years, the iPhone was really kicking in to heavy gear, and all her peers were getting all the devices, all of them. And Caroline was like, no, I don't want it. I don't want it. I don't want it. You can't make me. I mean, when she dug in her heels about something, she dug them in. And then you were getting your license.
Yeah.
So what happened is, so she's a January baby. So Christmas in December, we knew her license was coming. She already had the car. Her dad and I decided it was essential that she had a phone for emergency purposes while she was driving back and forth to school. And so
it was dead.
The time it was dead. We surprised her with it at Christmas, and she actually cried because she didn't want it.
Did I cry? I thought I just didn't like it.
You were so mad.
Did I?
So mad. So
I feel bad I reacted that way.
Oh, no, it's totally, actually, it was kind of comical. It was very on brand for you. So with the evolution of technology, just in your lifetime, how quickly it is literally taking over people's lives, and the fact that you went to Japan and realized you actually couldn't live without it, that you did have to use your phone?
It's because I'm abroad and I'm living in the city, so you kind of need it there. But now that I'm living in the countryside, actually, I just leave my phone inside the house and it usually goes dead. And I only turn it on when I know I need to talk to someone or need to do schoolwork. But that's it.
It's just amazing. But, technology, I always say it's a tool.
It is a tool.
And not a toy. And we use it to see and talk to each other real time.
Yeah, we use it as a tool. And I'd be lying if I didn't say I got caught in some of the sucked into YouTube sometimes. So I sometimes have to go on a technology fast where I set in stone, like, I'm not using my phone for this amount of days, or I'm only using it for this and this and this. And like those other things aren't open. Sorry. So yeah, that's, I know it's very unique for someone my age, but I'd prefer like the old things. Like I used to have a Walkman. I still have a Walkman, and I would use that as headphones when I went to work and mowing lawns. And I have a record player, and I have a VHS TV. Yep.
We always said you were born either in the wrong decade or the wrong century. You were either supposed to be an 80s baby, or you were supposed to be born in like the 1920s. So it's one or the other. No. But we are so grateful that you were created for us. I just want to tell you what a privilege and an honor it has been to be your mom and raise you all these years where I had some level of influence over helping you become your best self. And now sitting back and just watching you take the reins is the most powerful experience of my life.
I'm glad about that. Doesn't sound like I am, but I am. I just can't see it from your view, so I don't fully understand it. And I don't fully understand it like grandparents' view, and like I understand that you guys have a lot of memories and a lot of things you remember that I don't remember, but I just look forward to the day that I can be in that position, hopefully.
I can't wait. You are going to call me up with your aha moments. I just know it. And be like, I get it now.
But I have seen it like a little bit with working with kids. I've worked with kids since they were babies, and now they're like 7, 8 years old, and I can't believe it. But watching them grow up, I also have that understanding that they won't remember everything that I've done with them, but it is special in my heart, and they'll remember what they'll remember. That's fine.
Well, I just want to thank you so much for coming on here and having this conversation. When I asked you, I was fully prepared for the answer to be no, and I actually expected it to be no. And the fact that you said yes and you took a risk to just have a conversation, because I couldn't really prep you for what we would say, is just another demonstration of your next level self coming out.
I'm not going to lie. I was very nervous when we started. I don't know if that was, if people could see that, but, I didn't know what I was doing. I just had to take the risk. But I know that this means a lot to you, and you've worked really hard, and I've seen you start from day one. So, I mean, I'm here for a time. Why not support you? And this is a way to support you. And I knew you would appreciate it. So I'm at that point in my life. Just do it. Even if you don't fully enjoy it, you'll enjoy it because other people enjoy it.
I love you so much. And listen up, Toddler Tribe. Here's what I want you to know. This experience that we're having right now didn't happen because of all the work that we did during the teenage years. It didn't happen all the work that we did during the preteen years. It happened because of the foundation that was set during infancy, toddlerhood, and the preschool years. I cannot stress that enough. You will not be able to navigate all the things the world throws at you unless you set that foundation early. And so that's why this is my mission and my passion and my purpose. And I love working with people who want that for themselves and are willing to flash forward 20 years to see what it can be like. Don't believe what the world is telling you. From the minute you get pregnant, moms and dads are told, watch out, those toddler years are going to be terrible. Watch out, those teenage years are terrible. It doesn't have to be. If you're ready to do it different, that's what I'm here for. And I'm so blessed that is a gift that I have been given, and clearly a gift that she has been given too. So stay mindful and proactive until our next episode as we transform the toddler years. Whew, I can't believe it's over. What an incredible, comprehensive 60 minutes of wisdom and love and hindsight and perspective through the eyes and the heart of Caroline. Thank you so much for taking that journey with us. And if you are somebody who I was talking directly to at the end of that episode, then I invite you to check out my Transforming the Toddler Years course. It is 6 modules long, and it brings you through the mindset shifts, the heart set shifts, the perspective shifts required to build that relationship with your infant and toddler, with your preschooler. Then it teaches you the intentional language strategies to deepen the connection while allowing them to build skills that allow them to grow into really healthy humans and eventually adults. So check out the link in the show notes. And if you have any questions, feel free to message me. Otherwise, go ahead and dive right in.